Hola, soy yo Vicky otra vez. Y en el video de hoy vamos a practicar los pesky pronouns, those pronouns that cause us so many problems. So basically, what we're going to do first of all, if you have the book, we're on page 61. If you don't have the book, you still be able to follow it, as you know. I'll explain sort of as we go along, and then as far as the example sentences are concerned, you can do that as a listening exercise. But the first thing my students had to do in this exercise was complete the boxes of what different pronouns are, because there are lots of different pronouns. So the first lot that you had to try and think of are subject pronouns. So, what's a subject pronoun? Well, basically, a subject of a sentence is the person or thing that is performing the action. So, when you see a sentence in any language, you can break it up by working out what's the action, which is the verb, who's the subject, who or what is the subject, who's doing the action. And a subject pronoun is like instead of using names. So if I was talking about me, I is a subject pronoun. You. So basically in English, they go like that. I, you, he, she, or it, we, use. We don't have a plural you, so I'll call it use, but it's still you, really. They. Those are the subject pronouns in English. In Spanish, it's yo, tú, él, ella, nosotros o nosotras, vosotros o vosotras, and ellos or ellas. Now, of course, all the answers to, if you do have the book, the answers to these answers are in the back. If you don't have the book, then that's why I'm giving you the answers. The second group of pronouns you had to find out or try and remember are possessive pronouns. So possessive pronouns is how we talk about what belongs to us. So in English, it would be my, your, his or her, our, your, but remember that's the plural one, their, belonging to them. And those same pronouns in Spanish would be mi or mis, because in Spanish we have a singular or plural of my, mi or mis. Your would be tú or tus. His or her would be su or sus. Now, whether you make it plural or not doesn't depend on the person, it depends on what you're describing. So, if I was saying my books, I would say mis libros, because libros is plural, not because I'm plural. Where did I get to? So, his or her is su or sus. Our, belonging to us, could be nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, or nuestras. Again, depending on what the item that you're talking about that belongs to us. The same with your plural. We've got vuestro, vuestro libro, your book. Vuestra casa, your house. Vuestros libros, your books, and vuestras casas, your houses. And that may also, because it's the vuestro, it's belonging to both of you or all of you. And then their, very confusingly, is the same as his or her, su or sus. Okay, then we had the reflexive pronouns. If you don't know anything about reflexive verbs, you need to search on my channel. There's lots of videos about it. It's in the level 2 book, as far as the books are concerned. If you've not seen them, or you've got the level 2 book, or you want to buy the level 2 book, that's where you'll find the explanation of reflexive verbs. And reflexive pronouns in English, we don't really have we don't have reflexive verbs, but we do have like these expressions: myself, yourself, him or herself, ourselves, yourselves, and their selves. That would be what they would relate to in English. And in Spanish, the reflexive pronouns are me, te, se, nos, os, se. Then we've got the good old DOPs, direct object pronouns again. These are explained fully in the level 2 book. In English, these would be me, you, him, her, us, you, them. So don't forget, this is, page 61 in the level 3 book. So all these things we've done, or if you've progressed through my books, you will have done, but of course you might not remember them. I mean, you can't remember everything. So if that just leaves you at a blank, even though maybe you've done them, you need to really go back to level 2, find the section on direct pronouns, direct object pronouns, and perhaps go over it again. It's always worth doing the exercises more than once. Nobody remembers everything the first time they do it. A thing that I often say to my students is, whatever job you had, you may not be working now, but if you're working or when you used to work, whatever your profession was, you didn't just turn up on the first day, get told what to do, and then you knew everything. You learnt it gradually. And each time you did that job, whatever it was, you learnt a little bit more and a little bit more, and you forgot some of what you learnt, but then the next time you had to do that again, you remembered it better. So please, be kind to yourselves. Don't expect to remember everything just because you've done it once. Go back and do it again. And in Spanish, these direct object pronouns would be me, te, lo or la, which is the masculine or feminine, him or her, or it, masculine, feminine, nos, os, los or las. Okay, we turn over the page now. We're on page 62 for the indirect object pronouns, which in English are exactly the same. Well, we might say to me, to you, to him or her, or for him or her. We haven't got a different word for the indirect object pronouns. So the difference between a direct object pronoun and indirect is the direct object pronoun is what the verb directly applies to. So for example, if you say, I gave her a book. I gave her a book. I is the subject pronoun. Gave is the verb. What did I give? The book. So the book is the direct object. Who I gave it to, her, is the indirect object. Okay? So you might say I gave the book to her, but the actual pronoun itself is still her. And in Spanish, they're exactly the same as well. The only ones that change are the third person singular and plural, that instead of lo or la, or los or las, become le and les. So you should have me, te, les, whether it's no masculine or feminine with this, le, nos, os, les. And indirect object pronouns will always be people, not things. And as I'm saying that, I'm sure there's an exception out there somewhere there normally is, but I can't think of one. And also the good news is, just as an aside, that just in general, sort of the way Spanish people speak, they quite often don't bother using the indirect object pronouns, the lo and la. They just always use le, unless they're actually talking about an it. So anytime you're talking about him or her, you can use le. And anytime you're talking about them, which is people, instead of having to think, is it indirect or direct, just use les. Okay, and then we've got the para pronouns, the pronouns that go with para. If you were saying it's for me. So yeah, in English it'd be for me, for you, for him or her, for us, for yous, for them. In Spanish it would be para ti, ti, with an accent on the I. Sorry, para mí is the first one, of course. Me, M-I, with an accent on the I. The second one is ti, T-I with an accent on the I. Then it's para él or para ella, para nosotros, para vosotros, para ellos or para ellas. ¿Vale? Okay, then you've got a few little sentences you had to translate into Espanol. Número 1. Se levanta cada mañana a las 8. Yeah, so that's a reflexive pronoun. Se levanta cada mañana a las 8. Número 2. Fuimos al centro comercial ayer para comprar un regalo para ellos. Número 3. Now, this, no. So, lo dijeron la semana pasada. Lo dijeron la semana pasada. You could put ellos in there if you wanted to use a subject pronoun. Ellos lo dijeron. Oh, it's sold, not said. Oh my God, I should have gone to Specsavers. So, yes, they sold it, not they said it. So it's lo vendieron la semana pasada. Número 4. Me he lavado el pelo 3 veces esta semana. Remember that in Spanish we don't personalize, we don't say my hair, we just say the hair. Número 5. ¿Quieres vender tu coche? 6. El vestido en la ventana or escaparate is another word they use for like a shop window. Es perfecto para ella. Número 7. Tiene un regalo para ti. And it could be él tiene un regalo para ti. 8. Nos acostamos a las 11 anoche. 9. Los vi ayer. Los vi ayer. It could be las vi, but that's only if it's only women that you saw. Y número 10. Anteayer nos dijo la verdad. Anteayer nos dijo la verdad. When I see that hand of the Buddha, I always want to go like that. Okay, and then there was a practice C to write some sentences of your own, but obviously that's a free answer, so I can't. Again, as I always say, if you want to send them in to me to see if they're correct, I'm quite happy to do that. If you're not sure. Vale, ya está. So, hasta el próximo video. Gracias por mirar. That's the most important thing. Thank you so much for watching. If you found the video useful, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed already. Vale, te veo muy pronto en el próximo video y hasta entonces que tu Dios, como siempre, vaya contigo. Gracias.